Wasted potential.
Whoa! Don't do that again.
Will you be making the new wasted potential?
I don't know. I'll do it some more time. What are you doing in the trash?
So about that wasted potential you said you would do?
I'm gonna get around to doing it, next week. How about that?
Yo Fire, can you do wasted potential already?
Aw, come on! How did you even got my email?
Don't tell him I got Somber to hack him.
Could you?
No.
Are you
No.
doing wasted potential?
No.
¿Haces el video?
No.
Do it.
No.
You're fired.
Get lost! It's not that I don't like doing wasted potential, it's more like, whenever I do a Decepticon, it doesn't get as many views as an Autobot video would. Now, I wouldn't mind this if, you know, the videos didn't take me like 3 hours to make, even more than that. So, whenever it underperforms, it kinda feels like a waste of an effort, you know what I mean? But everyone's pressuring me to do a Soundwave wasted potential, and I'm not sure how this is gonna turn out. What do you think I should do, Kale-chan? Ugh, I miss her so much. Was that Kale-chan? You said I should ignore it? That's a good idea! But, people keep bothering me about it, so that's not an option.
3:28 a.m.
Waste the potential. Do it. Do it. Do it! Do it. Hey man, dude, you should like totally calm down and just like do it.
I will bring Kale back to life.
Fine, I'll do it. Is this thing on? Well, it's been quite a while since I've done a wasted potential video, and by that I mean like 3 weeks. Well, 4 weeks by the time this video goes live, but yeah. Oh my god, it's gonna be a long one, cause Soundwave actually has a lot of stuff in the comics, cause in the movies, there's pretty much nothing. But speaking of that, let's go and cover the movies. Yeah, let's just go move it right away. Come on guys, come on, we got a lot of ground to cover, so, you know, do your thingy. Okay, so we're gonna start with Revenge of the Fallen. So our first appearance of Soundwave is once the Autobots come back from their Shanghai mission. Soundwave's monitoring on the Autobots, and he's trying to infiltrate their systems, especially a military satellite. By doing so, he manages to find out where the location of the remaining fragment of the Allspark. He later deployed Ravage to go and retrieve it. The operation turned out to be a success, and Soundwave later found out where they kept Megatron's dead body, as opposed to the alive body. Oh, that was so smart. After sending a small task force of Constructicons to retrieve Megatron, using the Allspark to bring him back to life, Soundwave kinda just oversaw the Decepticons and the Autobots engage each other. He also, throughout the film, kept tabs on Soundwave Wiki and the human military. He even went as far as to block human satellites to make the higher ranking humans believe that there was nothing going on in Egypt. By doing this, he momentarily confused the humans, making them think that there was nothing going on and the Nest forces and Autobots were not under any kind of attack. This however didn't work, since the humans will later go on to send military backup for the Autobots. And that's it for Revenge of the Fallen. He kinda just stayed up in space. But now we move on to Dark of the Moon, a movie where he had a slightly larger role. Now Soundwave was first seen in Megatron's secret base, where he informed Megatron that the Autobots had discovered a piece of the Ark. Megatron then ordered Soundwave to send Laserbeak to eradicate their human allies since they didn't need them anymore. Soundwave gave the order and Laserbeak complied. Soundwave will later disguise himself as a Mercedes vehicle to be the guardian of Dylan, their most valuable human ally, Dylan the hacker. And also to keep a tab on Sam, since Sam's girlfriend was currently working under Dylan. It was later given as a gift by Dylan to Carly. But she didn't know, however, that the car was actually Soundwave, and that Soundwave was in disguise monitoring Sam with Wiki. Much later in the film, when Sam and Carly are trying to get away from Dylan, Soundwave reveals that he's actually a robot in disguise! Whoa! Who saw that coming? After that, he grabbed Carly, transformed, and began tormenting her as a way to provoke Sam by using his tentacles. Oh my god, I watch enough anime to know where this is going. Sam was worried that someone was gonna hurt Carly using his tentacles. Dylan and his dogs managed to get the upper hand on him and managed to restrain Sam. Then Dylan informed him of the job he had planned for him. He wanted Sam to spy on the Autobots and tell them what they were planning to do after they left Earth. Much later in the film, when the Decepticons are occupying Chicago, Soundwave had taken several Autobot prisoners. Dylan showed up and he said, "Prisoners? We don't need prisoners, they need to learn respect." Soundwave happily smirked and he said, "No prisoners, only trophies." He and Barricade then began executing the Autobots. They started by executing Q. Soundwave then killed Dino. What? Oh, that's from the comics, but whatever, we're gonna include it here because I think Dino's dead, so that's an extra kill for Soundwave there. Soundwave grabbed Bumblebee. He dragged him forward towards Q's body. Then Soundwave pushed Bumblebee one last time as he slowly, really dramatically slowly, raised his gun, giving Bumblebee time to reflect on his life and to say goodbye. Soundwave, finish him. Soundwave, what are you doing? Finish him! Are you trying to torment him? Dude, just finish him off. He has killed so many of your friends. Oh, he's gonna do it, guys. Oh no, he's even more slower now. Guys, Soundwave, wait, no, don't look up. Finish him. Oh man. Dang, I know where the top fight scene happened. And Bumblebee managed to get the upper hand on the Decepticons, single-handedly beating them all like the Gary Stu he is. By using his Gary Stu powers, Bumblebee managed to get the upper hand on Soundwave, killing him. You know, I don't care what you guys say, this is totally Soundwave's fault. It's not that Bumblebee's a Mary Sue, it's that Soundwave took forever to finish him off! Oh, he had a chance, man. He had a chance. Now we move on to the last night. In the last night, Soundwave is pretty much dead, or is he? Apparently, there's a theory that Soundwave's alive. Mostly my theory, but I'm gonna go over it some more time. So, BBM Wembley, the girl that Hot Rod was kidnapping, asked Hot Rod if he was one of the famous ones, like Shockwave, Soundwave. Maybe she was unaware that the Decepticons were dead. Or maybe this is a hint that Soundwave could still be out there. Maybe he pulled like Albatron. But anyways guys, so now we're gonna go over the comics. Am I right? Alright, good, let's go. So I'm gonna skip the events of Foundation because that's way too long and I don't think it's very interesting. But I'm gonna cover that comic some more time. So I'm gonna start with Convergence. So after thousands of years searching the stars, Soundwave's nemesis, the Nemesis, detected the faint signal, the Allspark. Unfortunately, the Autobots have picked up the signal too, and they mobilized to go after it. After activating a space bridge, this is Sentinel Prime's arc by the way, Soundwave decided to follow while the space bridge was open. Him with his small crew of Decepticons saw the arc crash land on the moon, figuring out that everyone inside it was pretty much dead except for Sentinel Prime, and that the humans, the intelligent species on Earth, was seeking to find out what was inside the Ark. Soundwave did his best to try and keep the humans from figuring out what was inside the Ark. So he spent several decades trying to keep humanity from finding what was inside the Ark, which by the event of the Ark of the Moon, we know it was the Pillars. Unfortunately for Soundwave, he couldn't stop the human satellite to discover the Ark. And the space race began between the USA and the Soviet Union. Soundwave realized that he couldn't just mess with the humans' data, he had to mobilize and infiltrate the human ranks in order to keep the data from spreading. So by doing this, Soundwave kinda employed the services of several human scientists and leaders, blackmailing them into doing his bidding, trying to keep the information of the Transformers race away from the humans. He also kinda learned about Megatron, but he dismissed it as a rumor, so he didn't mind. Wow, Soundwave, you could have saved Megatron, but now you chose to ignore it. I'm beginning to doubt how cool this Soundwave is. It didn't take long for Soundwave to figure out about Sector 7, a really well-hidden government organization that he didn't even know existed. He kept monitoring more human launches to the moon, but eventually, like we all know, Soundwave wasn't able to prevent the humans from making it to the moon and finding the Ark. Fortunately for Soundwave, the Ark's precious loot had already been taken by him and the Decepticons. After clearing the situation on Earth and realizing that humanity will have no further interest in the Ark, Soundwave and his crew made it back to the Nemesis, where they rendezvoused with the Fallen. The Fallen explained that Megatron had visited the Nemesis before while he was searching for the Allspark. Soundwave figured out that the leader was probably held up on Earth, secretly hidden by the government's top-ranking organizations. After spending 14 years making it to the Nemesis, he decided to return back to Earth with his crew in stasis. Before Soundwave left, however, he gave the Fallen one pillar from the Ark. This pillar was enough to break the Fallen free from his imprisonment, but this time the Fallen was kind of a prisoner, like he was injured in a battle a long time ago. He was basically sealed off in a sarcophagus, but thanks to Soundwave, he was now free. So good job, Soundwave, you're doing great so far. While returning to Earth, the events of the first movie happened, and Megatron was dead and the Decepticons who followed him were also dead. Soundwave made a slight detour to Mars, trying to get some Decepticon reinforcements and learn more about his leader's death. It was there where he discovered a space bridge, one that was created using the Ark's pillars, created by Thundercracker to be more specific. After learning that Starscream was still alive, he immediately contacted Starscream, who by this time he was busy fighting another Decepticon wreckage. I'm gonna cover this fight some more time, it's kinda long and interesting. Starscream received Soundwave's transmission, and he immediately left the battle. He was shocked that Soundwave was still alive. After all these years he believed he was dead. Soundwave dispatched his crew to go to Earth and find the Star Harvester. The Decepticons continued to search. Soundwave reestablished contact with as many human collaborators, let's just say that, including Dylan, whose father used to serve the Decepticons, but now Soundwave needed his services. So that's it for Convergence and some of Alliance. So I had to mix those two comics because they kinda intertwine. But now I'm gonna cover Tales of the Fallen. In Tales of the Fallen, Soundwave was just going about his business, spying on the humans and making the Autobots' lives a little bit harder, until he detected something that shocked him. Ravage was brought back to life. Soundwave was shocked and disturbed by this, so he wanted answers, which leads us to the Nefarious comics. Ravage attacked the facility, and he was incredibly damaged by the ordeal. Soundwave wanted to know who brought Ravage back, and he needed answers, so he deployed Ratbat, Rumble, and Beastbox to retrieve Ravage. But what Soundwave wasn't counting on is that a new human faction, not NES or the US military, was trying to retrieve Ravage. These humans were known as the Initiative. The Initiative soldiers were more than a match for Soundwave's pet. They had Cybertronian technology which gave them the edge on the battle. Soundwave could feel the pain of his pets. In a way he was linked to them. He knew that they were in trouble, so he transformed and made it to the battle scene. He helped his pets escape, but while doing this, the Autobots showed up. After noticing the Decepticon activity, Breakaway decided to engage Soundwave, leaving his team behind. Soundwave gave Breakaway a warning to fall back or he was gonna be destroyed. Breakaway ignored this and Soundwave destroyed him. Bumblebee and the rest of his teammates were shocked. But while all of this was happening, Ravage was reactivated by Buzzsaw, allowing Soundwave to have access to his memories. After doing this, Buzzsaw went back to help the other Soundwave minions, while Ravage sneaked out of the battle trying to rendezvous with Soundwave and be examined by him. While doing this, Soundwave rendezvoused with their boss, and a couple of Decepticons who were being attacked by the Autobots. Ironhide and Sideswipe were killing the Decepticons until Soundwave showed up and helped one of the Decepticons escape the battle. But Soundwave's luck ran out when Optimus Prime came, and he single-handedly took down Soundwave and took him into custody. Soundwave was taken prisoner by the Autobots and human forces. He was being escorted on a plane to a secret military base. Soundwave began teasing the Autobots that they were all gonna die in a couple of minutes. Most of the Autobots were kinda scared, but Bumblebee reassured them that Soundwave was just trying to trick them. It was at this moment that Soundwave's minions showed up once again, crashing the plane and attacking the human and Autobots. Realizing that the Autobots were in danger and the humans were dying, Bumblebee freed Soundwave, thinking that having Soundwave around was way too much trouble. If the Decepticons were gonna have Soundwave, then they would leave them alone. Bumblebee's guess was right. Soundwave quickly fled the scene. Ravage was once again mind-controlled by the Initiative. Soundwave put a secret tracker on Ravage to learn more about them and know where their secret base was. After sending a bunch of Decepticons to test the initiative's defenses, he then joined them and they all marched forward to finish off the initiative. It was at this moment that they encountered an army of brainwashed Autobots and Decepticons. Somehow Soundwave and his pets managed to escape after learning about this and knowing that the odds were too great and this organization was way more dangerous than they could ever imagine. Soundwave did something unexpected. He went to the Autobots base and asked them for help. Optimus was really reluctant at this, but he knew that if Soundwave was desperate enough to ask for their help, then crap got real. So the Autobots, Decepticons, mobilized together to finish off the initiative. While doing so, the Autobots began killing Decepticons, but they didn't kill any Autobots because they were brainwashed. And Soundwave was somehow okay with letting this happen. Soundwave was able to reactivate Rabbids, and he sent Redman to attack the initiative head Carter Netwell. Netwell tried to flee with the Allspark. Oh, by the way, I figured I should throw some context. The initiative is basically trying to recreate the Allspark, like Starscream did in the reign of Starscream. And by doing so, they're trying to kill all the Transformers on Earth. Carter Netwell was trying to get away by using his mobile base. Yes, the initiative has a mobile base, kind of like Fortress Maximus, but it's not the same thing. Optimus Prime began pursuing the mobile base, and Soundwave deployed Bossa to assist Optimus Prime in pursuing him. After the fight was over, the Allspark was destroyed, and Carter Netwell was dead. Next discovered the initiative's data banks. They discovered that they had mysteriously been picked clean. So, meaning that while Optimus Prime was pursuing Carter Netwell, Soundwave was hacking the data banks, picking everything clean and learning everything that the initiative knew about their species. So now we move on to the Rising Storm. After choosing a new body to better disguise himself amongst the humans, he set residence in Megatron's base in Africa. RC Elita 1 Chromia were sending an infiltration mission to find out more about the Decepticons. They tried to radio the Nest forces to tell them that they had discovered the Driller Beast, Shockwave's pet, but they were unable to since Soundwave was blocking their transmission. Soundwave discovered the sisters, and he deployed his minions to finish them off. RC and Chromia held off the minions, as Elita 1 headed back to Optimus Prime to inform him about what they had discovered. During the fight, Chromia decided to kill herself as a way to save RC. She was gonna use one of the bombs they brought to blow up the Decepticons. She told RC to head back to safety, while she was gonna stay back and try to kill as many of the minions as she could. As Soundwave's minions were charging at them, Chromia detonated one of the bombs, supposedly killing some of Soundwave's minions. But Chromia herself was saved by RC, who was quick enough to pull her out of the explosion with minimal injuries. The two of them later left the scene. As the smoke cleared, Soundwave managed to survive the explosion. It is unknown, however, if any of his minions died or survived. And that's it for the comics, and oh my god, was this kinda long. I don't think it's RC levels of long, but it is pretty long. Without wasting any time, let's go over how I would have handled him. So, how would I have handled Soundwave? Well, that's a tricky one because Soundwave was not supposed to be important. I'm sorry guys, but Soundwave's sole purpose was just to be there to, make the Autobots and the humans' lives a bit harder. A spy's job is not to fight, it's to spy on the enemy. A spy is not a fighter. And while Soundwave has been pretty cool with getting a couple of kills, at least in the comics, and showing that he's showing that he's boss and he can command the Decepticons and get away with his own agenda like in Nefarious. Overall, I still wish they would have done a bit more with Soundwave. For Revenge of the Fallen, I would have done nothing different with Soundwave. I would have kept him in space, being a nuisance to the humans. And he's supposed to be a spy. Keep him ambiguous. Like, make us think that, oh wow, this guy looks cool. He could be a real trouble, later down the line. And in Dark of the Moon, I do like the concept of him being, a robot in disguise. An actual robot in disguise! And keeping tabs on Sam. But I feel like maybe he could have more action. Maybe have him, be more present, more prevalent throughout the film. I really don't know what I would have done with Soundwave. Maybe have him get away in Dark of the Moon, like have his death be ambiguous. And then in Age of Extinction, he comes back and he's responsible for, bringing Megatron back to life, to Galvatron. He messes with Data, so maybe you could do the argument that Soundwave messed with Megatron's head. He brought Megatron's consciousness to Galvatron, instead of Megatron doing it himself. It gives us more of an explanation as to how it happened. and it makes Soundwave look more of a mastermind, like this mysterious figure in the background. And then in the last night, you bring Soundwave for the final battle, and then you can have him get killed by, I don't know, Bumblebee or whoever. Honestly, that's a much better idea. Hasbro, you should hire me. Hire me! I will do a much better job than Michael Bay, story-wise at least. I can't direct for crap. But now, let's see how Soundwave fares up in the wasted potential scale. Alright, so the wasted potential scale. How does Soundwave fares up against everyone else? And that's kind of a tricky question, but let's see. Okay, so Soundwave is a popular character, a fan favorite, okay? Since G1 people love Soundwave, the very concept of a robot shooting up smaller robots, it's extremely cool. Unlike the Dredge, unlike Jolt, unlike the Decepticons from the last night, the Twins, Wheeljack, we have certain expectations for Soundwave. So therefore, Soundwave's gonna rank up pretty high on the list. Unlike RC, who was in only one movie, didn't do much, I don't think Soundwave was as bad. Shockwave, however, it's a tricky one. I feel like Soundwave is somewhere in between Shockwave, Devastator, and the Twins. Is Soundwave worse than the Twins? Not really. He was a spy, so just because he's not a full-on combatant, I think that kind of excuses him. And even though he wasn't a main character, we still have many big expectations for him because he's such a popular character, kind of like Devastator. So this is getting interesting because it's been a long time since we had someone ranked this high. So I will place Soundwave below Shockwave at number 3, and I will move Devastator to number 4. Now the reason why I'm doing this is because I think Soundwave had a lot more wasted potential. Like I discussed on the segment where I said that I will handle Soundwave way differently, having survived and stuff. I personally feel like you could have done way more with Soundwave. Devastator, I get it, okay? Devastator is such a cool character, you kinda want him there because he's so cool and powerful and strong. But if you think about it, Devastator was kind of a one-time deal, because if you bring him back, it's almost, really unlikely that the other ones are just gonna let such a powerful weapon, like a combiner, just walk around the earth or something. So that's why I think he's higher than Devastator, because I feel like he could have a tiny bit more. Keep in mind, I'm putting Soundwave above Devastator with the slightest margin. Like, it's like really, really tiny. Like, you could put Soundwave at number 4 or Devastator at number 4. It could actually go either way, but I'm just, in my personal opinion, Soundwave goes to number 3 because he was extremely wasted. He was such a cool character, so much hype, and for him just to get killed by Bumblebee and be another Decepticon on Bumblebee's kill count, that was just disappointing, and I don't like it at all. But that's just my opinion, guys. What do you guys think? Were you guys happy with Soundwave? Do you guys wish he did more? Or what else could you guys have done to make Soundwave better? Let me know in the comments down below. Tell me who you want to see next. I already heard so many people ask for Brawl. Listen, for the next episode, I want you guys to vote hashtag Brawl or hashtag Tigerhawk from Beast Wars, because I really want to do a wasted potential on someone that's not from the movies. So yeah, tell me down below, Brawl or Tigerhawk. You guys can vote. So like, comment and subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next video. Stay fire, brothers.